Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Useless, also known as Seth, and today we're going to be doing something different, a story time. This story time is when I got suspended, well, basically this year, near the end of the year, and this kid wants to fight me even more about it. So, let's start back at the beginning of the school year. This dude from Jamaica came to the United States. He is a short black male and really just didn't like me. I don't know why, but he just didn't like me. And I had this friend named Anthony, this big, tall black dude who was actually really fucking chill. We'd hang out and shit like that. He came to my birthday in January, and well, yeah. And so he didn't like that I was friends with Anthony because he didn't like me for some reason. I don't know why. And he just always kept saying he can beat me up and stuff like that. And I did not, agree with his terms because he's shorter than me. Um, I decided to go to a jiu-jitsu school, boxing school type shit, and it turns out that same little Jamaican kid went to that same, boxing jiu-jitsu school. Now that I went there, he kept talking shit, saying he could beat my ass, and said that he would roll with me on the mats in jiu-jitsu. And so I'm like, okay, fine, okay, fine. We'll do it one time because I did the adult class, and I feel like he was too chicken to do the adult class because he was doing the kids class. And so one day he's like, okay, I'm staying after to basically beat you up in the adult class. And I was still brand new. It was literally like not even a month in. And so I didn't know much. All I knew how to is defend or help try to defend. So basically, stay on top and not, make them move. And so he tries taking me down. And basically, he got me in a rear naked choke standing up. So my response is don't get choked out. So I crouched down, did an illegal move, which I didn't know was illegal at the time. But I crouched down, grabbed the back of his legs, and slammed him on the ground. After that, he was like, oh, my wrist, crying like a little bitch, and never came to another adult class. But still, he was talking shit at school, saying he could beat my ass. Turns out in March, I was having a very bad day. He was talking shit. And for some reason, he started talking about my mom and my sister, calling them whores and stuff like that. And I finally had enough. I'm like, okay, fine. And he's talking how he can beat my ass. So I'm like, okay, let's run 30s in the bathroom. And those that don't know what 30s are this thing where you go into the bathroom and you fight for 30 seconds so everybody can get back to their next classes. It happens during like passing time and stuff like that. So here it's sixth hour, I had him in that class. He's talking shit, and basically I had enough. I'm like, okay, fine, we're gonna fight now. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna get my buddies and they're gonna watch me kick the shit out of you. And I'm like, okay. And so then we get into the bathroom. His buddies are there. I have one friend there who took a video and sent it to me later. I still have that video, so if I can find it, I can put it in the video because I honestly don't care if he sees it. What is he gonna do? Want to kick my ass some more? Pfft, I doubt that. But basically, we get into the bathroom, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna do slap box," and I'm like, "What? I wanted to punch the shit out of you, you know?" And he's like, "Well, we're gonna do slap boxing, blah blah this," and on my face, I was like, "What the hell is this pussy shit?" And so then the fight commences. I slap the absolute shit out of him, pin him up against the wall, slap the shit out of him. And at the end, he says, I'm going to get my ass beat after I just handed him an ass whooping. Then fast forward, like 2 weeks. We're in the middle of biology class. He comes up to me because he's been trying to get people to jump me and fight me for about like 2 weeks. And no one wanted to do shit because my buddy, I don't care, but his name's Caden. He has a big reputation of beating the fuck out of people bigger than him, beating the fuck out of a bunch of people. He's just a fighter in general. And so that I'm friends with him, none of, the black kids at our school, the little gangs and shit, want to fuck with me or my friend because I'm friends with them. And so basically, we had 2 weeks. He tried to get a kid that, is friends with him to fight me, all this other stuff, and nobody wanted smoke. And so basically, in class, I'm sitting in class, minding my own business. My dad tells me just to ignore him, and he comes up to me, shows me a photo of people that a photo of like usernames that wanted to get my ass beat, basically, that wanted to beat my ass. And I'm like, okay. And then he said he's getting his brother from Jamaica to come kill me. Like, literally he says he's gonna shoot you, and then says the N-word. And I'm like, well, I'm so glad to hear that. And he said it in front of a teacher, because I sat in the front of the classroom right next to this kid. And a couple days earlier, he made a really big remark because the teacher wanted to pair us together. He was like, I ain't gonna play with this, or I ain't gonna, work with this N-word, this, that, this. And I just thought it was funny, so I started laughing. Everyone in class has already seen the fight video, so they know, like, what's going on. But the teacher called the admins because he gave me a death threat in front of everyone in the class. I get called down to the admins, and I'm like, well, I'm already going to go down with a suspension. So I'll just say, hey, I got into a fight. He's mad about that. So basically, he wants to fight me again and get me jumped and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I fought him. There's video of it. If you find the video, I don't want to have this, continue, because I will beat the fuck out of him if he tries doing something. And they know that. And I was talking to one of the vice principal admins type stuff, and she's like, yeah, he's got a pretty big mouth, stuff like that. He's been charged before because of this. And I was talking with the cop. He's like, sorry, son, we're going to have to give you a ticket. And I'm like, fine with that, because I got it paid within a couple weeks. But basically, I got a ticket, $155 fine for disorderly conduct. And my dad was talking with police officers, and the police officer was like, your son was the most respectful kid we have ever talked to throughout this entire school. And my dad kind of took props to that. So we both got a 3-day suspension. And basically, he got mad and said that I snitched, which I didn't snitch on him at all. He basically snitched on himself for giving me a death threat in front of a teacher. And basically, he kept calling me a snitch. And on the last day of school, which was Friday, a bunch of his buddies were telling me, hey, he's going to get you jumped on Friday, so I wouldn't come to school. I wasn't even planning on coming to school, because basically what happened was I had no, because we have exams the entire last week, so I wasn't coming to school. But basically, he wanted to get me jumped on the last day of school, which I really didn't really care. I would have came anyways if I had exams, but I didn't, so I'm like, my dad wants help, I'll just help my dad. So basically, he wanted to fight me again. Next year, my sister's coming to the high school. My sister could beat his ass, so I'll just have my sister beat his ass. But basically, the moral of the story is, don't get into fights at school because you get a ticket. And yeah, I'm going to show the video here in a couple seconds. And, well, everyone, I hope you have a good day, and peace out.
Don't post nothing, okay? Just slap. Just slap. Hold on. You ready, bro? Yes.
Yeah, come on, go.
Oh. That is not.
Oh, shit.
Alright, y'all good. Y'all good.
Y'all good.
Nigga, we said we done. Watch this. You getting your ass beat.